afternoon.
How's everybody? Pretty good. Good. Well, I think by now you know why we're here. I think that's pretty obvious. Today's a ceremony, a celebration of sorts, showing our pride and our, satisfaction with what our basketball team, cheerleaders, managers, coaches, everything like that in the community, what they were able to achieve this year. That being said, I'm not going to delay any further. We might as well bring them out. Your state semifinalists, 2011, your Continental Pirates. I'd also like to keep it going for two special, we'll call them motivators during this tournament run. Scott Deacon and Austin Browan, who led the student section. Did a fine job. Couldn't have done it better myself. That being said, obviously we are here, like I said, to celebrate what was accomplished as our boys making the 4th trip in school history down to state, down in Columbus, Ohio. An impressive 21-4 record along the way. We've got numerous speakers, so if you want to go ahead and sit down. People that want to recap some things that were accomplished this year, kind of gloat a little bit. Our first speaker stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. During this tournament run, he did not turn the ball over once, and he did not miss any shots. That is Superintendent Jones.
Thank you, Matt. First of all, I'd like to apologize for my voice. It sounds a lot like Randy Travis today, and I thought maybe I'd start out by singing a song. It's kind of a deep voice. I'm ready to go, but it didn't come from all the cheering, even though we did a lot of cheering this past week, past probably 3 months. But we sure have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot of things that are going to be said here today, and I tell you what, it's just great that when you're in this kind of a setting, everything's going to be positive, and it's just wonderful to be a part of this whole organization, and I just want to applaud the guys for getting us as far as we did. Good job, guys. I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of the Board of Education and the administration, the school, the fans, the ball team, cheerleaders, managers, coaches. You know, we just have a great group of people here that have really just come together throughout the season. And we've always got fans running around just excited. That's just great to have. And I think that next week, if we can get these guys healthy, I hear everyone's kind of got the cold I've got, so they're probably going to want a couple days off, but I'm a little bit upset because we've had to take so many days off just to go and appreciate the days and games that you guys have done. So do you get Monday off? You'll have to talk to Mr. Mingery about that. I also real quickly would like to thank some people in our school Joel Mentorink, I think, did a tremendous job helping with all the things that had to be organized and put everything together. He does a great job for our school, and I really appreciate it. Let's give Joel a round of applause. Also, our two athletic directors, I think when they got into this position, they didn't realize all the work that was going to be involved. And believe me, it took both of them this year to get everything done. And I just can't say how much respect and how great a feeling I have for Tim and Mindy for all the time, effort. The ticket sales went very, very smoothly. And I think we really owe them a round of applause for all the work they've done. Now, real quickly, and what I really would like to talk about for a brief few minutes here is our basketball team. I think that coming into Continental, and I know Matt was commenting on I didn't miss any shots. Some of you old folks that was around when I played, I think Larry Bracken and some of you guys, I never saw a shot I didn't like. So took a lot of shots back then. The thing that I really, really like about this team here is I've really seen a unit come together. They played together for 4 years, probably some of them for 10, 12 years. And it just seems like there's just no quit in that group. And I think there's nothing more to hand down in a legacy for a group of guys and to let all the young people, all the community, and everyone know that whatever you want to achieve in life, if you work hard enough at it, you can get it done. And these guys, I think, have proven so this past almost 3 months. So let's just really, really think back to all the work and hard times they've gone through to get to where they are. And I think, to me, that is something that's very important. You know, someone said, well, you know, maybe mention one of the most outstanding things that, for me, that happened this year. And, you know, it's very obvious. Everybody reminds me of this all the time that I still live in Columbus Grove. But I would like to tell you one thing. The biggest victory that we had this year was that district final over Columbus Grove. So I want to applaud these guys for making me stand out in my group. It was great having some of those people call me and say, we've got rooms for the state tournament. That made me feel pretty doggone good. So that was wonderful. Also, not only the team has done a wonderful job all year, our cheerleaders, and I really commend our cheerleaders because they do the JV, they do the varsity. I never hear them complain. They're always out here putting up signs, doing everything that has to be done, and just do a wonderful job with that. And I know a lot of schools, when you send your cheerleaders out, you really, really expect a lot out of them, and I think our cheerleaders have really went beyond the call of duty for all the things that they have to do, so I think they deserve a big round of applause as well. Managers, you know, the managers are probably the part of the team that you wonder in 3, 4, 5, 8 years, are they going to be sitting here and we're going to be recognizing those kids for helping us through the tournament trail this year. And I think if you look at our managers and check to see what they'll be doing next week, I think probably every one of them will be out playing basketball. So let's give them a round of applause as well. Finally, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our coaches. What a great group of coaches we have here at Continental. I don't think anyone can feel any more proud of them than what I do. I think they've worked, they stick together. We've had a few battles back and forth, but I tell you what, they stick up for their team. They stick up for what they think is right, and I respect them for that. And I tell you what, I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. And I think you can be very, very proud of the group of coaches that you have here today. So thank you, coaches. And in closing for me here today, I think there's one thing that I need to mention all year long, or probably for the last 4 years, all we've heard is that this is Kevin Holmeyer's last year. And the one thing that I would like to find out from everybody in the community here today is how many of you people would like to have him back next year? Well, thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Our next speaker, once again, I'd be remiss not to mention his stats for this tournament run. His are more impressive as they come in the side of the technical foul part of things. He's given out 12 detentions, 3 suspensions, and 1 expulsion. That would be Principal Mentor.
Good afternoon, welcome. I especially would like to take this time to welcome home our sectional champs, district champs, regional champs, and our state semifinalists. Welcome home. Today brings to the close a four-week run of basketball. It's been nothing short of truly amazing. A run of basketball that was more fun and exciting than anything that these young individuals have experienced in their high school careers. With an equal amount of fun for all of us that were along for the ride. We knew coming into the year that we would have a pretty good squad, but losing a big group of seniors last year, we just weren't exactly sure how good they would be. The group coming in did not have a whole lot of varsity experience, but as the season went, the team gelled, and I think as you watched it throughout the season, you saw that this group of individuals played truly as a team, with each individual having their own role on the team and playing that role very well. I would venture to guess that if someone would have told any one of you in here at the start of the year that we would end up the regular season with a 17-3 record, I think everyone in here probably would have nodded and said, yeah, we'll take that. You know, in the week leading up to the Pandora-Gilboa game, Coach Homeyer and I are in my office doing a little chatting, and I don't remember the exact words I used, but we're wrapping up the end of the season, and I said something at the end of our conversation to the extent of, well, let's get this win Friday against Pandora-Gilboa, and then wouldn't it be nice to go on a nice little ride from there? And Coach Homeyer just turned and, I don't know if you remember that, Coach, but just turned and smiled at me and said it sure would be fun. And I don't think either of us really knew that ride would entail us ending up in Columbus, but what a ride it was. Here we are, just 4 weeks ago, there were 830 teams that started the tournament season in boys high school basketball. Thursday, entering the Schottenstein Center, we were one of 16 teams remaining out of those 830 in all divisions. A member of the Final Four just in our division. I'm sure, guys, late Thursday night there were lots of hugs and tears between players, coaches, cheerleaders, family members, from the disappointment of the loss. But we were right there with you. We shed the tears because of the excitement that we had throughout the season as well, knowing it was coming to an abrupt end. It may hurt for you yet today, but in the years to come, the memories and the stories that will be shared will erase all that hurt that you feel today. And as us older folks know, as the years go by, those stories just tend to grow and grow and grow. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank our coaches for everything they've done for our student athletes. Not only this year, but for the past nearly dozen years. You've always worked hard teaching the game of basketball to our youth and putting them in positions in which they can be successful out on the basketball floor. But more than that, we thank you for the positive influences and the life lessons that you've taught so many of them. Again, we thank each of you for all of your contributions to our student athletes. I do have to say, I sure like seeing the sunshine out there a lot better today than Wednesday when we left in the pouring rain. I know some of our guys are sick. I don't think they were out in the rain nearly as long as myself and Mr. Eating were and a lot of the students, but we were pretty wet Wednesday. Just a few more people I'd like to take to recognize real quick. I'd like to thank Mr. Eating and Mrs. Bradford for all their work and extra time away from their families. Not only doing all the ticket stuff, but making all the arrangements and the work that they do behind the scenes to make everything run smoothly, and for the opportunities that they gave our young folks here to have a special week this past week. So thank you to them. Also to members of the school staff that stepped up and helped out in any way during the past several weeks, either helping out with tickets or whatever it may be. We appreciate all the help there. Also would like to thank and I don't know if any of you noticed when you walked in, but if you go out to the lobby area or the cafeteria area here afterwards, you will see that there's several signs that were made from schools from around the county. I know we had several schools that came over this week and made a presentation of banners. Most notably, I think, was Columbus Grove coming over to present a banner, and they called ahead and asked that Coach Homar please be here to accept the banner, and all those individuals, all the players came over and made that presentation, so I thought that was a very class act. Also, thank you to the local fire departments, police stations, for all their support and everything they've done to help make this a memorable experience for our players. Also, Chief Arnie Hardy, Mr. Arnie Hardy, it's nice to see you in uniform today. To our cheerleaders and student body, thank you for just an incredible job that you've done helping lift our team up. To Scott Deek and Austin Pro, excellent job of making sure the student body was ready to go each week. At each pep rally that we had, Coach Homar would get up and give a little speech, and each time he implored our student body and cheerleaders to be louder and louder and louder. And I think each time as the season went on, we were louder and louder and louder. I don't think we came across a student body that was better than ours all year long. So thank you to them. And you have to admit, some of the cheers throughout the tournament run sometimes were a little bit comical, a little bit humorous along the way. I can recall specifically one, and maybe I don't recall the exact cheer, but against Grove in the district finals, I can remember our student body chanting, "Best teams on the floor." And if you guys remember, they turned around and countered and started chanting PCL or PCL champs or something. So we're thinking, oh man, we just got burned. Well, we got the last laugh at the end of the game when our student bodies chanted district champs, district champs. So I thought that was pretty good. So again, just outstanding job to our students, our student body, our cheerleaders. We thank you for all the help and the decorations and everything that you've done. Lastly, and again, before we get to the players and coaches, thank you to the players and coaches for this great ride that you took each of us on. I firmly believe as a high school athlete, if you're competitive in nature, that your goal, no matter what the sport is, should be to compete at the state tournament. And what you've done this year, I think, is to help remind and reinforce for everyone that, especially the younger kids to come, that anything is possible, state tournament is possible, you just have to go out and work for it. And I would venture to guess that all those times that the coaches were chewing your rear ends or making you run or do things that you didn't want to do when you were mumbling under your breath about them, I would venture to guess that those things were not so bad after all, especially this past couple of weeks. So again, sectional champs, district champs, regional champs, state semifinalists, congratulations on an outstanding season.
Thank you, Mr. Mendrick. Our next speaker is one half of a tandem that includes Ms. Gretchen Sierfoff. Her name is Kelly Tenkamp. They are the co-advisors for our cheerleading. As far as the cheerleaders go, another good hand for them. You guys did a fine job in this tournament. There were numerous nights out there that I saw you guys cheerleading, and I'm pretty sure Scott and Austin were pretty jealous that you guys got to wear skirts and they did not. It is what it is. That being said, if Kelly, if you'd like to come forward and say a few words on behalf of the cheerleaders.
Okay, so voice for the cheerleaders today because Gretchen's too chicken. So I first of all want to congratulate the team and thank them for an amazing season this year. I also want to thank Coach Holmeyer for always making the cheerleaders feel part of the team. After every away game, the last thing he said before getting off the bus was, "Nice job, cheerleaders." And that meant the world to the girls as well as us for being recognized for all of our hard work, because sometimes it gets lost in the background, I think, a little bit. And excuse my shaky voice, I'm a little emotional today. It has been a privilege to coach alongside Coach Holmeyer for the last 11 years. And I think the motto this weekend kept being, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Thanks to Coach Holmeyer, for Gretchen and myself, it was a twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we got to spend it with a great group of girls and boys twice. So this has been really exciting, seeing it through their eyes and knowing how much fun it was going to be for them before we left on Wednesday. I also want to thank my girls for all of their hard work and everything that they've done this whole season when it seemed like no one was cheering in the crowd, and we can probably point each one of you out that did stand up and cheer with us, and we thank you for that. It's really hard to get out in front of everyone and try to get everyone's spirits up if the team might be down. I want to thank our students for not getting too ugly with the other fans like I asked before each of the tournament games. Thank you very much. I want to thank the ADs and the administration for all they did for us this weekend. And there were lots of great memories made. And again, I want to thank Coach Holmeyer for everything.
Thank you, Kelly. Our next speaker is no doubt going to highlight what was a very impressive coaching staff. Once again, putting in hundreds, if not thousands of hours. I think we can attest to that. The parents definitely can, as far as picking up kids and dropping them off as far as practices are concerned. They've done one heck of a job with this team once again. Their efforts are no doubt to be underestimated. They accomplished many things, and they will be the first to tell you that the credit goes to the players, and they are right. But they are the engineers of the train. They are the captains of the ship. They are to guide the crew. And the crew did one heck of a job, but without these gentlemen, it is impossible. So I'd like to highlight the coaches that we've got in our back row at this time. Starting from, we'll go left to right here, along the tournament trail and with us every game this year, William Rigg, Wayne Schulte, Ron Weisenberger, Mark Wilson, Steve Weisenberger, and Nick Wilson's not here, but he also assisted, and then our head coach, our next speaker, Kevin Holmeyer, who has been a part of 3 of the 4 banners that will be up there next year as a player in '77, as a coach in '05, and a coach in 2011. Those efforts are not to be overlooked. Coach Holmeyer.
First thing I want to say, Joel, what kind of car do you drive? I didn't say that, Artie. He did. Don't pick me up. Get in, all right? I'm going to be a little redundant in the beginning here because I want to thank a lot of people, and we thank them twice, so what? Because it takes so many people to pull something like this off and throughout the year. And to be a community like this, there's a lot of people who are involved. I guess first, before I do that, I just want to thank the good Lord, you know? Look at those kids. That come from great homes. It takes great people. It takes a lot of work. And the breaks you have to stand here today. Injury-wise, we've had a few bumps and bruises, but nothing terrible. And outside of Nathan, who I think that was probably our worst one. But thank the good Lord for what we've got. And I think when you go home tonight, everybody needs to do that. I want to thank the You know, I guess to back up just quickly, when we had our Meet the Player night, I said we'd dedicate our season to the deceased great fans that we had lost. Well, I hope they are proud of what we did for them during this season. And I think that, you know, we lost a few along the way besides. And, you know, like Ron and Steve lost their dad, and of course our bus driver lost her husband. So it's been a tough year for Continental. So I hope we could bring a little bit of levity and fun to the community while we were having these tragedies. I want to thank the administration, been supportive this year for everything we've done. Like Joel said, Mindy and Tim, I tell you, they'll remember forever. Where are you? Where the heck is he? These kids are going to remember that forever. It was first class. Everything went like clockwork, as planned. Just, we can't thank you enough. The people who planned our send-off, other than the weather person who was involved with that, you did an excellent job. Our kids were just, you know, amazed. The elementary kids who made posters for us, and we even got some stories that we handed out before the game that were made by the elementary kids. The Blue and Gold Club, who always takes money to do things like this, they were involved raising money. John and Tanya Schmidt, I think, was involved in the motor coach that we got to ride in. Thank you. The fire departments, you know, everybody talks about fire. Oh, you're going to get to bring in the fire, you know, fire truck. When you're coming down too wide, are you kidding me? You know, these guys' eyes are this big around. Kalida, Ottoville, Ottawa, Grove, I mean, from all over the county. That's one fun thing about being involved with basketball in this county is it's tough when you're playing against them, but when you get down the trail, everybody's in your corner, and that's a great thing. I want to thank the Legion and the Pirates Den for meals that they provided for the players. Ned and Terry Tracy, I believe, provided a meal one night. Thank you. I'm going to miss some people, and it's not on purpose, so I shake every one of his hands. The various people who just gave money for this trip, you know who you are. H&K, who gave us transportation all along to get to things in the summertime. We appreciate that because that's when these teams are made. Megan Oakley, Al Welch, Dana Slavin for providing t-shirts for the kids. You know, things that they'll be able to keep forever. Nicole Brack and Todd Segler for being kind of our physical therapists. We had some injuries late. Those two did a great job of getting our players so they can play. Chip Carter for all the great things he does with our uniforms, so we look the part. I don't know if John Miller's here, but I just want to say to him, he's the uniform manager on Saturdays. He has to carry the crates. He hates it. Thought I'd tell him that. Al Welch, come and give some words of inspiration to our team before, kind of started before the sectional. And as superstitious as these guys are, let me tell you. So he was back in the district and back for the regional, and you know, if you need anything in life, I think we'll bring you to that too, because it seemed to work. I don't know how much that was there, but it worked. I want to say something about Katie Stabler, who does 99.7 radio, who kind of adopted us as his team, and you know, has been fantastic to our guys over the airwaves. Also, the Crescent News, the Lima Paper, Findlay Courier, Sentinel, the News Review, Channel 44, 35, for all the great pub that they give these guys, you know, things that they'll have their entire life. 30 years from now, when nobody believes they played basketball, they'll be able to break that out and show them, and they won't really get what that is until about 30 years from now. The cooks who sent along some cookies and bananas and oranges and stuff. It was great for the trip. Subway gave us a bunch of subs as we left. It was fantastic. Of course, the voice, Matt Miller, and his sidekick, Kirk Hedrick, on everything they've done for us, and the great introductions, and other schools look at us like, are they ever going to get done? But hey, it's our night, it's our gym, so you're just going to have to like it. But, you know, he's as good as there is. Gary Wilson doing the time. You know, Gary's been with us the whole time too, and his biggest supporter is any thank you. Pam, you know, what a tough couple weeks for you. Hopefully that some success brought a little bit of, you know, satisfaction in your life. And, you know, probably should let Pam take us to Columbus, because we were undefeated on the road this year in the bus. So I think we probably messed that up a little bit and should have took the school bus. That's not Pam's fault, so don't give her any, you know, she didn't do it. I want to thank the parents. I know the money and the time and the team meals. I can't imagine the conversations that are had around the table when they bring home how much it's going to cost for summer ball and how crazy that coach is. I understand, believe me. But we're here. We're here, and that's what it takes today. I want to thank First Federal and Citizens Bank. We went out to eat right before we left for Columbus, and we were going to pay for it, and they just happened to be in the wrong seats at BW3s. And mentioned, hey, you guys ought to pick up the tab, and they did. So there. So if you ever see them guys up when you're out eating, just say that to them. I guess it worked. Is Blake Elkins here? Come here, Blake. Blake made us a picture. I don't know when it was, about the middle of the season maybe. We were struggling a little bit. Blake made us a picture, so we put it in a frame, we took it down to Columbus with us, and all the players signed it. And all I know is that must have been our good luck charm, because we won a lot of basketball games after that. Like I said, I know I miss people, and you know who you are, and we thank everybody that ever did anything for this program. Thank you. A quick recap, you know, we lost 9 seniors last year. Thought we had a good nucleus back, but you just never know until it gets going. We knew we'd work hard. Wound up, you know, won our first 8 games, lost to Archbold, they were 13 in the state. You start to wonder, okay, you know, how are we going to gel from here? Went on, finished 16-3, lost to Grove and Clyde besides. I think between the 3 teams, they had maybe 5 losses between them. We were rated 9th in the state in the final poll, which, you know, that's always a heck of an honor when you end up the poll in the top 10. It doesn't happen very often. 5-2 in the PCL. Of course, Clyde is coming along. They've owned us for a couple years. Had to find a way. We spent a lot of time in the coach's office as a team just talking about Clyde and what the problem was mentally. And on that Friday night over there at Elida, these guys decided that it wasn't time to end the season. And by God, they played a good basketball game, and we got Clyde. Got kind of a break playing USD next. Of course, they upset Ada. They were definitely a team that was made for us. We kind of needed a game like that to get it back together. Took care of business. Knowing that Columbus Grove was looming out there, it was a team that gave us trouble because of their size and their length and all the things they could do, and beat us up at home pretty bad, and we didn't play well. So once again, we had to spend that amount of time in the coach's office talking again about the mentality of the game. What's it going to take? And we talked after that game about what was the most important part of the Columbus Grove game. And we kind of went around the room, and finally somebody come up with it. The very best part of that game was the very first play of the game. There was a pass, I don't remember if it was Jacob or Dylan. I think it was Dylan tipped the ball, and Jacob went flying after it and knocked 2 Grove guys down, and it basically said, boys, we're here to stay tonight, we're not going away. And we did not go away. Next team is a good friend of mine, Lady Christian. You know, a guy that stole our offense, stole our defense, stole our cheers. Yeah. Basically was us, only wearing black. You know, a couple kids step up, we have a great night, we find a way to win that game. This summer, we played Macomb at Finley team camp, and they beat us up pretty good. We didn't play well. I told people, everybody always talks to you as a coach, who's the best team you've seen? And I always told people the best team we played all summer was Macomb. Well, going in there, of course, they're 24-0. Got all the accolades. They're, third in the state? Third in the state, something of that nature. Once again, we got back in the coach's office as a team and talked about the mentality it was going to take to win that game. So we devised a game plan, and, you know, we get to 30 seconds to go. We're still down 3. Kids come to the huddle. You look in their eyes, and there was no panic. You could tell we still had it. We run a play, got a hoop, run another play, and then, of course, we knew that the coach's son an 85% foul shooter would miss the front end of a one-on-one.
Yeah, right.
See,
Drew that one out.
none of you was thinking that, but we just knew it. So he does that, another timeout, run a play that's been very, very good to us across the years. Jonathan got fouled and gets to do what every kid's ever done in the driveway, get 2 free throws with 2.9, drops them, and of course, have 4 or 5 more possessions in 2 seconds than we weren't planning on, but in the end, we got to run around the floor and feel what very few people get to feel, and that's to know that you want to go to Columbus and play basketball. So. You know, part of the problem, some of these guys that played in 05 can attest, when you play in the state game, the game goes so fast. It's just, you're there and it's over, and you're sitting there like, how did that happen? You know, and so we tried to not let that go on in their minds, but it just happens. I remember the score being 53-49. I don't know, there was like 5 or 6 minutes to go, thinking, you know, we're right there, we're going to get them. There's a way we're going to get them, but their length and the toll of the season started to take a little bit on us, and we did not get them. We went down, we watched them yesterday, and, you know, the only gripe I have, and I don't want to sound like sour grapes, of course, is every one of these cats here, I think, for the most part, went to kindergarten together. And they've been dreaming about this for 10 years, 12 years. Highland had a nice club, don't get me wrong, they were the state champions. But they had a missing piece, so they went about 5-10 miles down the road, got him a 6'7" guy, and he helped them get it done. And I made the comment the last time, I'd rather lose with these guys than win with that guy. Just to go through a few more things, thank you. I want to thank Team Win. You don't understand what Team Win is. Team Win is a group of guys that's played for us over the last 10, 11, and even some guys that played way well before that. They come in every night and help these guys selflessly. Like I said, we got Nathan with a torn ACL. We've got Rob had a sprained ankle. I mean, Team Win was beat up worse than us as the year went on. But I mean, what a difference they make. I just want to run through some names. Damon, Curtis, David, Todd, Chase, Ben, Chris, Brandon, Jeff, Jacob, Nathan, Scott, Ryan, Kyle, Rob, Curtis, Nick, Derek, Brad, Charlie, Ross, and there's many more. But what they mean to our program, the difference they make, I cannot tell you. Scott Keck. Scott Keck is not, I don't know, Scotty? Probably not. Scotty Keck, he did all our scouting. He drove 3 hours to see Berlin Highland. He's done that all year long. You know, just does a great job. Scott Deacon and Austin Prawn, I don't know if they're here. Are they here? You know, when the season started, Scott and I sit down. Scott was talking about playing or not playing. And we kind of made a decision, and I said, Scott, you know, if it's not the sacrifice you want to make, don't do it, because it's a sacrifice. And he said to me, I think I can help you more off the team than on. Well, there was no truer statement ever made to me this year than that. Because what you and Austin did, I still think I have that on DVR, that when you had the white beard and stuff. I had to keep that as priceless. So, great job. Larry, Corkwell, Bonnie, Corey, you know, pep sessions we've had at the Pirates Den through this course and through the years. Your undying support has been a blessing for me. Thank you. Well, the coaches, you know, other than Mark, who's the JV coach, the rest of these names I'm going to read to you over the last 11 years have got $0 to do this. And what that amounts to is they do it for one reason, your kids. And those are the type of people I want surrounded by in my life. People who do it for all the right reasons, and these guys do it for the right reasons. And Willie Rick, who's been with us for the most part over the last 11 years. You know, he takes the games for us this year. If we need any running done, he does it. If somebody needs something, he does it. We need somebody to practice to do a drill. That was Willie. Willie, thank you. Nick Wilson's not here, I don't believe. Nick came in this year. We wanted to help the big men and do some drills and do some things for us. Bring some of that 05 magic back, and I got it. So there you go. Thanks, Nick. Mark, taking care of the JV. Our JV record the last 2 years is pretty stinking good. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good. Program's moving forward. Program's safe in the future. He does a great job with the kids. The kids love playing for him. I want to thank Mark. Wayne Schulte. You know, if there's anybody loved more than Wayne by these kids, I don't know who it is. I mean, he is a kid's guy. Do anything for him, and I mean anything. Once again, the kind of guy I want beside me when I'm doing something like this. Does our stats, comes in at halftime and gives 2 or 3 minutes so I can get my breath, which really helps. He's the voice of reason a lot of times. Wayne, I appreciate everything. Last 4 years I've had Ron Weisenberger on board. Probably saved my marriage with my son being on the team. He was that buffer when I needed that buffer. I think Brock can tell you that too. I think in one of the articles, there was an article in the paper, and I said, growing up, Ronnie was my idol. I wanted to be Ron Weisenberger, and I still do. For 11 years, that's my right-hand man. I can never do anything wrong. He's telling me, Steve, I killed the neighbor. It's okay. He needed it. That's all I know. He's always been there. I made a comment in the paper. None of this would be worth it if he wasn't here. And best friend, best guy for your kids. Gretchen and Kelly, we got 7 cheerleaders, right? I've looked at the posters, that takes a lot of time. They did a great job this year, posters. The girls work hard, like they said, we don't have JV and varsity, we just got one set, so they have to do it all. And they're a great group of girls. I've got to know them pretty well. And there's a lot of years you go through and you don't get to know them. But this year we did, and I just want to, girls, stand up. Cheerleaders. Kelly and Gretchen do a great job with them. And like I say, cheerleaders sometimes go unnoticed for some reason, which is crazy to me. And they work as hard as anybody else. So, do a great job. It's been fun. It's been fun. Thank you. Stats. Stand up, girls. Once again, unheralded group of girls. They compile everything as the game's over, and we have to get everything into the paper and all that kind of stuff. Once again, they get absolutely nothing for it. They just like doing it and like being involved, and we sure appreciate what they do. Caleb Oles, Tyler Breck, Ryan Bakel, Terry Dockery, Brandon Schmidt, and Kyle Hogger. Come on. These guys, they just come every night. They throw water bottles out, give me water, give me stuff, do this, load the bus, grab the stuff, how come you forgot this? And they loved it all. I can tell you right now. I've had managers for years. These guys did a great job. And did they have some fun? I think they had a lot more fun this week. I can tell you that. But as we look at those, I'm sure there's some ball players in that bunch, and they were right. As I introduce these next, that team, there's a whole bunch of managers sitting in that front row. So hopefully this is what that did for them. But give these guys a hand. Well, the reason we're here. Give me 3 sophomores. Dalton, Bradford, Jess, Lawton, and Tyler Dyer. That's our 3 sophomores on the team. A little disparity in size there. I'm not going to say everything, I won't do it. I mean, that's the nucleus for next year and in the years to come. Great kids. I've had a lot of fun with those guys. Chaz keeps everything lively. You never have to worry what he's thinking, because he'll tell you. Red, he's the guy that gets picked on all the time. But he does a great job with that. They're going to be good basketball players in the future, I guarantee you. 4 juniors. Brandon Burke, Spencer Wardaway, Clay Bracken, and Brett Slotman. I think next year, team's in good hands. Spencer, he works hard as anybody there is, and his game's coming around, and he's going to be the guy next year. I know he is. Clay and Brett, you're talking about 2 athletic big men. We're going to be able to run the floor. I'm sure they're going to get after people, because we're going to make sure they do. Brandon Burke, wasn't he about 5'8" a year ago? Yeah. Now he's 6'2". I mean, that's a big group of kids. And they're getting better all the time. So that nucleus of kids right there, we're all going to be proud next year coming back here to see them play. Brett Brown, come on up. It's a funny story, and you wouldn't believe it, but I'm sure everybody knows, probably everybody knows. The 72 state team, the 77 state team, the 05 state team, all had a brown on it. We had to go clear to Defiance to find a brown to make sure it happened again. But I told him after we won the regional that every one of those teams had a brown on it, lost the first game at state, so get the heck out of here. But he stayed. Great kid, and I'm just glad he got to be a part of this. Cody Gills. Now there's a lively cat right there. Probably one of my favorite moments of the season, was at Waynesfield. Cody gets in the game, start of the 4th, launches a 3, I think it hit the wall, gets it right back, and drained it from about 26 feet, and the look on his face was priceless. For all of us that was there, that's why you do this, that's why you're around kids, for that kind of a moment. So Cody, I'm just glad that you were one of the guys that stuck it out, you stayed with it, you come to practice every day, and you were definitely a part of this team. Thank you. I said Red takes a lot of heat, so does Nick, let me tell you. But he can dish it out too. Nick's a great kid. He was my manager in 05. He's been with me forever. 6th man this year. Come in a lot of games, made a difference. I think he averaged almost 4 points or 4 rebounds a game off the bench. You know, he's one of those kids that has a nose for the ball, always going to play hard, always a great teammate. I know there was a couple of times this year where he didn't get some time, but then turned right back around and did a great job. So give Nick a hand. Jacob Fry. Jacob has basically lived in my house for 12 years, 14. I think I've raised him. At one time, he told his mom and dad he thought he wanted to be a homeowner. I thought he was, because I thought he was on the payroll. He's like my second son. Just did a great job this year. Jacob did all the dirty work, made some, hit some big shots, guarded tough people, played hard, part of that group that would just never cave in, and I'm just really, really proud of him. Dylan Yeckel. Dylan's one of those kids that just brings toughness, and we always said that he's a tough kid, and this team needed some toughness, because at times we weren't very tough. And as the season wore on, he had some big shots. Dylan was the type of kid that we almost had to beg him to shoot the basketball. And Dylan shoot. But when he wasn't fouled, he was playing pretty well. Once again, Toledo Christian game, he put us on his back. We're here because that night he decided we weren't going home. And for years to come, we'll be able to thank him for that night. So. I think Brock and John are 8 days apart. I think it's 8 days. I've known John his entire life. He was always that much taller than Brock, so we always knew he was going to be tall, even though they were 8 days apart. He's worked extremely hard at this. He's one of those kids. John's not crazy vocal, but he continued to work and work. Thank God we started a team all under 6 foot, but John did get tall. He's had a great career. I think he wound up, only because Edgerton wouldn't reschedule, I think he wound up with 988 points. His son playing, and it's hard to even differentiate between the two, because I'm with him probably almost as much as my son. But, of all the time you put in, John, and believe me, as you get older, those 2 free throws will be there, and they'll be in the lore, in these rafters forever. So you can always take that with you. Coaching your son. It is probably the best time of my life, and sometimes the worst time of my life. Definitely the hardest time of my life. Especially when he's probably more like you than he needs to be. But you never see that, of course, being his coach. I've had interviews lately, they ask about coaching your son, and why are you quitting? And I said, I've had to be his coach for the last 15 years, and I didn't get a chance to be his dad. I just never got the chance. So the 3 things I want to say to him today is, you're a much better player than your old man ever was. I am so proud of you, and you'll always be my favorite player. State semifinalist. Just a couple of things I want to wrap up. I want to thank the people who gave me this job 11 years ago. I was untested, untried, haven't